So the inclusion of this guy in the Rat Pack set has been a bit of a point of contention in my family because some say yes, some say no, and I went, they're mine, and so I'm going to go with yes. And before I tell you who we are doing today, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff.
One, two, three.
How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And today is day 170, and we are making a Humphrey Bogart themed soap called Casablanca. And I think it works. See, here's the thing though, like Humphrey Bogart originally was one of the original Rat Pack members, right? Lauren Bacall had called him and his group of friends, you know, a pack of rats or a rat, whatever, his drinking buddies, and it stuck. And I don't think he necessarily wanted it to stick, or maybe she didn't want it to stick, whatever. It stuck within his circle of friends. And then, you know, granted, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. et al., they made it super popular, and that's who we know and love today. But I really wanted to do a Humphrey Bogart themed line because I love Humphrey Bogart. So that's what we're doing. And again, today's bar is called Casablanca. And Humphrey's bar is going to be a pine tar soap, which is very cool. There are a number of ways that you can incorporate pine tar into soap, and the benefits of pine tar are also many. But we're gonna talk about all of that like actually in the video. So I'm gonna stop talking here and we're gonna go there. Okay, so first things first, I know, Casablanca, I wanted to make Humphrey Bogart, and so we're doing the thing. And again, Lauren Bacall coined the phrase originally, so as far as I'm concerned, he's the original Rat Pack member. So that's what we are doing today. We are also doing a pine soap today for the Humphrey bar. Now, this is actually made with pine resin, sap, and not pine tar. And the reason that I do this is because, well, for a lot of reasons. One, I don't really like messing with pine tar. It's not that it's really a complicated process, I just don't like the smell of pine tar. And pine resin, pine sap, when you are taking it from, you know, in its little, you just saw the thing with the strainer, and yeah, that actually still has a ton of skin benefits that I actually really love. And so I was making this because over the summer I had made a pine soap when I had that really bad bug bite, right, that you could see in the creeper video. And I needed some, you know, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, you know, wound healing soaps to kind of help me out with all of that. And so I made a pine soap, and I realized that I had not made a pine soap in quite a while. Now, I very rarely make proper pine tar soaps. I usually always just stick with the resin, because I can incorporate it into my lye solution. Just drop it in and it melts down in the lye solution, and you know, I continue to use the chunks until they're completely gone, until there's nothing left in the strainer after subsequent batches, and I don't have to mess with the pine tar itself. And again, it's an easy process making pine tar soap. It's just, I don't like the smell of it. It smells like turpentine to me, so I don't like playing with that. But this is another way to make a pine soap without having to, you know, do that. And then you also get, you know, the cool benefits and everything. And then you can also still keep your bars, you know, white or cream colored. That's awesome. I've also found that like a proper pine tar soap is a little bit irritating for me. It's a little bit drying. And so just enhancing the lye water like this with the pine resin, with just like the hardened, stuff that comes from the pine tree or a tree in general. I actually get my pine resin from this local guy that has a really cool tree live edge company that is awesome. And it doesn't have any of the problems that I've experienced with pine tar soaps before, in that I would get kind of irritated skin. It would get very dry using a pine tar soap, and just using the pine sap, the pine, resin, it works out better for me, and you still get all of the cool antimicrobial and antibacterial, all of the things. But I mean, that's the thing with soap, right? Like, rinse off product, so there's some benefits to the things that you put in based on what you have put in your soap. But again, it's on your skin for 30 seconds at a time. But those 30 seconds at a time for a hand soap, when I had, my bite or whatever, that's 30 seconds at a time, 30 times a day. And so that definitely helped out with the itchiness and helping my skin heal with all of that. So it was good. And yeah, so this particular design, because it's Casablanca, it's a black and white bar, because black and white Casablanca, right? That's what we're doing. That's why we're doing the thing. And again, back to the Bogart thing, I don't know. I wanted to put Humphrey Bogart in it because I love Humphrey Bogart, and he was like the original member of the Rat Pack before it became famous for what we currently know it as. And so I wanted to do the thing, and my mom told me you should include insert name here, and I wasn't actually familiar with that insert name here person, and so I went, okay, but I want to do Humphrey Bogart. And so we have a Humphrey Bogart line within this new series as well, and that's just what it is. So the scent blend for the Bogart, the Casablanca, well, for all of the Bogart products that go into this, really is very cool. It is a bergamot, black pepper, and tobacco blend. And when we were making these, Mr. Soap and Clay and I were figuring out what we were going to use, what I should use for all of the different, the 4 different sets. And we smelled this blend together. We're just kind of playing around, and we put these two together, and we went, yeah, this is it. This says Humphrey Bogart. This is great and awesome. And no vanilla in any of this, so it shouldn't have any problem with discoloration. But also you get the cool activated charcoal, which is like a double whammy for a pine tar soap, because you get the awesomeness with all of the, drying or whatever, but then you get the detox from the activated charcoal. And so it ends up being a really cool, awesome bar in general. Plus bergamot, black pepper, and tobacco. It smells delightful, and let's go pour it. Okay, and onto the pour. Now for this, it's going to resemble like a mantra swirl or a flame pattern or whatever that I tend to do reasonably often in soap making. At the beginning, but it's not ultimately going to become that when it's all said and done. Now, the reason I'm doing a slab for this is because we also did a slab for the Sammy Davis, and there are 4 new sets and 4 new bars essentially for this. And whenever I put a slab pour in, I feel like into a set, I feel like I need to put a second one in as well to balance out the set, so you don't have like 3 bars done in a loaf, which has a certain size and shape to them. I mean, they all weigh the same, but they look different because of the... Anyway, so that's why we're doing it in a slab. I could have done a black and white film design in really anything, I suppose, but slab because Sammy Davis Jr. had been done in a slab, so that's what we're doing. Now, for this, the activated charcoal bit of the soap got pretty thick, and that's to be expected because it actually did have a bit of a double whammy going on in there. It had the kaolin clay plus the activated charcoal, and when you're putting clay in your soaps, especially in the copious amounts I do, things get thick fast, and so it's going to be doubly true with an activated charcoal, with the black portion there. And for this, there's no real rhyme or reason to what I am doing with the actual skewering of the top of the bar. The goal is to have it, you know, like areas of black, areas of white, and then mostly kind of gray, right? Because life is lived in the shades of gray, right? Not in the 50 Shades of Grey. God, those books sucked. Those were terrible, stupid books. I was not a fan. I mean, no offense to the people who love the, you know, 50 Shades. No, it was not my bag. You know, and it wasn't even one of those books that I could like hate read either. Like the Twilight series. Those books are also awful, and I love reading them so much. It's ridiculous. And so yeah, now we're just more moving around with the really working the batter into itself over and over and over again. One of the things that I very rarely do, and the reason why I'm actually doing this is because, you know, a couple months ago Scout did her bar, right? And she was moving it around like crazy and really working with the batter. And I had told her, be careful, everything's gonna go gray if you keep, you know, messing with it. And it didn't. And so I took a page out of her book. And also, if I ended up being right for this one, well, that's good, because back to the aforementioned gray thing. And I'm super not gonna continue to go off on 50 Shades, although I could. Anyway, this guy is definitely gonna get C-popped. There's no real reason to not C-pop it. Pine tar doesn't really have much of a problem, I have noticed, with overheating. So we will definitely be putting this in the oven, forcing it through gel, and seeing what comes of this bar and all of the twirly swirly bits that I have done to it, you know, tomorrow. And of course, as you know, it's not really tomorrow, it's still today. It's the same video. I should stop pointing that out. I know you know these things. You're super smart. All right, and now we are on to the cut, and yeah, this looks good. This is very pretty. I'm looking forward to all these, how shiny it is. It's so pretty. And I really do love how there's no like super stark black with all of that, because you think black and white and you think, you know, but an actual black and white film, it's not that. It's all the shades of gray. I'm gonna say that a lot in this video, apparently. So yeah, the cutting into the individual pieces, this is one of those cool bars that has such a wild and chaotic pattern across the entirety of the slab that I always look at and go, oh gosh, these are all going to be messes. But I have noticed that the ones that have less rhyme or reason, the more chaotic a slab pour is, ultimately the more beautiful the individual bars, once the cut has been done, are. And I think that this one will be, you know, no exception to that rule, really, because once you cut some of the chaos out and you're just dealing with, you know, individual pieces, it all makes sense. The mind fills in the blanks and it totally works. And for a bar that's, you know, named Casablanca, that absolutely works, right? And then you know, obviously the color selection and everything also lends into the idea of the black pepper and, you know, the tobacco, and I mean, I guess the bergamot, it's whatever, but ooh, that's pretty. I like how it dipped a little bit into the white. It's very pretty on the inside, and I love that bar. That one is very cool. I feel like these bars would be good for soap Rorschach as well, because there's definitely a lot of different types of patterns and stuff going on. Again, with no real rhyme or reason to them, but they're just beautiful. You know, that is a lovely bar, and a little bit soft on the edges, and that's completely fine. I cut my soap super soft so I can sort of hand bevel everything out, so then I don't have to actually get the beveler out and do the things. I very rarely do that at this point. I went through a period where I really did bevel and plane everything, and I decided to ultimately go back to my roots, and my roots were rustic. And by rustic, I mean, I called it rustic because I couldn't figure out good chops, and so my cuts were always crooked, and, you know, whatever. And then I learned how to cut soap, and so the rustic thing doesn't exist anymore, but I do still like the, you know, more stark corners and whatever. I think that's just a soaper's preference. You can do what you want with your bars, and I choose to just kind of slightly hand bevel them and keep them mostly as natural as how they came um, out of the mold, really. I don't shine them or do any of the things to them. But these bars are super beautiful. I love those. I like how wispy they are, but still in a very adult, mature type of way that could definitely be, you know, masculine or unisex to that. And that was another thing about all of the scent blends that we've done for the Rat Pack. Definitely unisex stuff. It's nothing, there's nothing floral, there's nothing crazy, but it's not decidedly, you know, masculine, whatever that may mean. Because I've always been a bit confused as to what that means anyway. But that is day 170, the Casablanca bar, the first for the Bogart line. And there you have it, the Humphrey Bogart, the Casablanca soap. I think it's extraordinary, and I really love the actual capabilities of this soap. Because you are putting the pine tar into it, it creates such a cool lather. And pine tar, historically, it helps out with things like, you know, psoriasis and eczema and dermatitis and bug bites. And I actually made a great pine tar soap this summer because I was struggling with like the worst bug bites ever. It was not fun, and remembered that I hadn't actually made a pine tar soap for the actual website in quite a while. So it's time. It was time to do the thing, and it was a great way to insert it into, you know, the Rat Pack line thing, really. And so I love it. The scent blend for the Bogart, the Casablanca, this soap, but then all of the Bogart products, so good. Like when Mr. Soap and Clay and I were figuring out what we were going to do for these products and who was going to get which blend, and we're fiddling with the blend characteristics. This one was just definitely, that is Humphrey Bogart, and it stuck, and it's delightful. I love everything about it. And if you are interested in picking up the Casablanca, you can't. It's not on the website yet, but in a few days it will be available in its grooming kit set thing, which you're gonna love because the packaging is so beautiful. It's all crazy. I love it. I'm very excited about these grooming kits. If you are interested in seeing the rest of the products that we make for each of the individual, you know, gift grooming set things, you can totally subscribe to the channel because I am doing this every day. And that might mean that you don't need to subscribe because you'll just remember that I'm doing it every day, but also I'm easily forgettable. So you could subscribe and like get the notification, and you'll know when I drop another video, and that would be cool. For everyone that is subscribed, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. You are amazing human beings, and I love you for it. Thank you for joining me for another round of 365 days of soap. I hope you had a good time with the Casablanca soap, and maybe let me know below whether you think Humphrey Bogart should be included in the Rat Pack set thing or not, and we can have a discussion about that. But that does it for me today, so I will see you guys all again tomorrow. Bye.